Welcome to Klepper's Corner, the week in weird news, where I dive into the most baffling, bizarre, and downright stupid headlines of the past 7 days, so you don't have to. Let's start in Missouri, where a monkey in a tutu broke out of captivity. Yes, you heard that right. A spider monkey dressed like a contestant on Toddlers and Tiaras escaped from a home near Otto, Missouri, leading local deputies on a chase. Authorities eventually captured the monkey before a winter storm hit. Meaning the big question here is not how it got loose, but why it was wearing a tutu in the first place. Was this a circus audition gone wrong? A failed attempt at the world's weirdest gender reveal party? Either way, someone in Missouri has way too much time on their hands. Meanwhile, over in Australia, a corpse flower bloomed for the third time in as many months. If you're unfamiliar, the corpse flower is a massive plant that smells like a dumpster fire at a morgue, and yet people lined up to sniff it like it was some kind of botanical beanie baby. Nothing brings Australians together quite like a rotting, meat-scented science project. Speaking of bad smells, let's talk about Lake Erie, where a mysterious alligator has been spotted swimming near the shore. Now, let's be clear, there are 0 wild alligators in Pennsylvania. None, which means someone, somewhere, was just casually storing a gator, like a bad house plan, and somehow lost track of it. At this point, I'm just waiting for reports of an alligator in a tutu, because Missouri and Pennsylvania seem to be having a contest. But let's move from things that don't belong in water to things that absolutely do. Just not this way. In Chile, a kayaker was briefly swallowed by a whale. No, this isn't Jonah and the Strait of Magellan. This actually happened. A humpback whale accidentally engulfed Adrian Simancas, but spat him out moments later. Experts say whales can't actually swallow humans, which is great news for Simancas, but also kind of an insult. Like, imagine getting eaten, then immediately rejected. Sorry, bro. I was looking for plankton. Now let's move from swallowed and spit out to swiped and cashed in. In France, 2 men stole a credit card, bought a lottery ticket, and won €500,000. Now, before you think this is some kind of crime-turned-Disney movie situation, the original owner of the card might actually be entitled to the winnings, which means we're about to witness the most uncomfortable courtroom moment in history. Judge, theft is illegal. Thieves. Okay, but what if we were lucky thieves? Speaking of bad decisions, a dog in Tulsa, Oklahoma, accidentally started a house fire by chewing on a lithium battery. Yes, folks, man's best friend just became man's most reckless fire hazard. Fire officials are using the incident as a PSA about pet-proofing homes. But honestly, if your dog is gnawing on batteries, maybe the real issue is that it thinks your furniture is made of snacks. Meanwhile, in Norway, 27,000 salmon escaped from a fish farm, and now there's a $45 bounty per fish for anyone who catches them. This is the closest real-life equivalent to Pokemon we've ever seen. Fishermen are now turning into professional bounty hunters. And somewhere, a Norwegian grandmother is 1 salmon away from retirement. And speaking of arrests that shouldn't have happened, a goat in Ireland was detained for wandering onto a golf course and munching on the greens. Yeah, that's right, Billy the Goat got himself a rap sheet. Apparently, Irish police have nothing better to do than chase a rogue goat across a country club. Somewhere, an actual criminal is getting away with a real crime because the cops are too busy debating whether or not to charge a goat with trespassing. But hey, maybe they'll give it a pass if the goat says it was abducted by aliens. That's what one snowplow driver in New York claimed after a bright light engulfed his truck during a blizzard. He says he woke up hours later covered in glitter. Either aliens abducted him or he just passed out in the middle of a Lady Gaga concert. Speaking of extraterrestrial activity, Texans freaked out this week when a UFO-shaped cloud hovered over Lubbock. Meteorologists called it a lenticular cloud, which, let's be honest, is exactly what a government agent would say if they didn't want us to know the truth. The only thing missing was a guy in a tinfoil hat yelling, "I told you so!" But if you think that's weird, let's talk about potatoes solving cold cases. In Alberta, a woman sliced into a potato and found her wedding ring that had been missing for 13 years. Now, I'm no expert, but if your wedding ring is found inside a vegetable, maybe check what else you've been eating. This woman has been 1 carrot away from a fully solved mystery for a decade. And finally, in New Zealand, a penguin waddled into a pub. Not the start of a joke, this actually happened. The bird, dubbed pint-sized by locals, strolled up to the bar before being gently escorted out. Scientists say it was probably chasing fish, but I like to think this was a penguin who just had a really rough day. And that's the Week in Weird News. Tune in next time for more strange, ridiculous, and utterly baffling headlines. Because let's face it, reality is getting weirder by the day.